Hey everybody, this is Herschel from High School Top 200. We are up to number 10 in this preseason ranking. And in my preseason ranking, everyone in Christchurch is going to be annoyed. I don't think they should be, and I think that this team will make a big case. But my number 10 team in the country for the preseason is St. Andrews. Now, I know that a lot of these guys in Christchurch are going to be annoyed, but I don't think St. Andrews did a bad job last year. I think that they had a lot of new players coming within their system. I think that they had to kind of learn from it. I think they had a good young team that actually kept up to play with everybody else, which I thought was something that's something that shouldn't have been overlooked. Where a lot of people did overlook the fact that they were that young and that they had a lot of returning guys, and so I think from their performances from last year and what I think that they could do this year, I think number 10 is a pretty good spot for them. Now, it's a different thing when you have to go out there and prove it, but just from what they produced last year and the games that they produced in last year, to all those players sort of coming back and then rethinking it, sort of reintroducing themselves as an older team of last year, who have learned from their mistakes. So I think that this is their team, and this is where the position that they should be in. Jackson, Eddie, Shiloh, Klein, and Oliver Dew are probably going to be the front row. Shiloh is probably a player that you should really look out for this year. Jackson may be a guy next year that you should really look out for. He's a young year 13, so he could have that option to come back. Oliver Dew is a beast, and he's just this big brick wall of a guy who's solid, and that can give you that protection that you kind of need, get you those little meters that you need as well. I think that front row is going to be one of the strongest. Not even just in Christchurch, because I think they would probably be one of the strongest in Christchurch anyway, but also within the country. And so, like with them, if they've done their off-season, workouts and gone stronger in the gym and sort of, did those kind of preparations, then, they could easily go out there and prove it, because I think that they've already got the sort of talent anyway. Ben Taylor, James McPherson are probably going to be the locks. Will probably come back and hopefully they've got, they've grown a bit over the off season, which is always something that you really want in some locks, especially with some of the locks out there in Christchurch that do have a bit of height and that do get around the field, and I mean they've got a New Zealand secondary school lock sort of in the making that they're going to be going up against. So if Ben Taylor and James McPherson really want to get at it and show that they can compete, then Christ would be the game that they would want to get at as well. Liam McBreen Smith is going to be the blind side, I think. Lockie McIntosh, I think his name is. And Mitch White is probably going to be a loose forward. I like the loose forward, and these guys aren't like the fastest guys around the field, but they know how to work as a team. They know how to get in there and to also get the ball and be annoying around the ruck and around the base of the ruck, so that they can slow down ball and that they can take advantage of what's of their next step. Because like holding up the ball is one thing, but then holding up the ball, finding an opportunity to get together as a full pack, then blow them over to actually cause a turnover, and it becomes a sort of a open field play kind of turnover when you get the ball out. Those are kind of the things you want to look at. Like sometimes a lot of times you do see guys just that go in for the ball just to get the penalty rather than get the turnover. So those three are the kind of guys that you would want to slow the ball down and then actually work to get that turnover and then have their backs run into the broken play kind of situations. Mitch White is probably a guy that I'll be looking at a bit this year, hoping that he gets his running game maybe a bit more explosive and stuff. But I think that he's got a lot of talent and a lot of upside to what he brings to the field. Tom Brooks looks like he's going to be the halfback. There's probably not really too much argument about him being there because I think that he's played himself into those situations anyway where he's going to be like that. And I mean, having a guy like Mitch White who was a blindside last year, but I think that he can make that transition to number 8 unless I've got someone else that's there. But I think that he's going to work well with Tom Brooks as well, so I think that'll be okay. I think Lou Johnson may move into first 5 unless I've found somebody else that they can do it. But he would be the guy that I think would probably move into that position, and he's just too talented. Like, you can put Lou anywhere and he'll tear it up. So like him and Isale Pauvalu at second 5 will be a really good combination for the 10 and 12, and Issa can like start maybe creating from second 5, maybe creating some mismatches and things like that. Henry Bates will probably be outside of him at centre, so you got a good finisher there as well. Tom Anderson is another guy you could probably look for to go into the wing positions and things like that. So like these guys, they have a lot of guys. And they have a lot of experience to go with the team that they have this year. Now, my thing is, it's like, okay, if that's the case, then you know that you've got a young bench, and then how does that second 15 or that under 15 or under 16 team come up and fill up your bench and fill up your weak spots to the point where they become a value and not actually a liability when it comes to plays on the field, and that you don't have too many guys trying to back them up and things like that. Because the UC competition is a pretty hard competition. It's really high IQ kind of competition. So if you've got guys that really fall off, they fall off in a big way because it's such a big gap if you're not up to the standard. So St. Andrews have got those questions to sort of ask, and then if they can find the right guys to fit in those positions, it's going to be a good year. And then number 10 would not seem like such a far-fetched a reality for people to get their heads around. I know that there's going to be arguments and people are going to be talking smack, but that's just the way it is. Look out for also Matt Taylor is probably another guy at hooker that I think is pretty good player, and he's pretty decent as well, and he's going to be a good backup for Shiloh. And so have a look out for St. Andrews. Have a look and see what they can do. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong or whatever. But that's my review here for St. Andrews. Prove me right. Peace.